Now we will discuss about the functions of the cranial nerves in a tabular form. We will discuss about the origin of the nerves, their innervation means where do they supply to, and their nature and their functions. The first pair of the nerve of the cranial nerve is nerves is the olfactory nerves. Olfactory nerves originates from the olfactory epithelium of the nose, and it goes to the olfactory lobe of the brain. It is sensory in nature and it helps in the detection of smell. Now the second pair of the nerve is optic nerve. Optic nerve originates from the retina of the eye. It goes to the diencephalon part of the brain. It is also sensory in nature and it helps us in perceiving the vision. So this first and second pair of nerves, they are sensory in nature. They take the impulses or sensations from the sense organs to the central nervous system. The third pair is the oculomotor nerve. Oculomotor nerves, they arise or originate from the midbrain. In previous part, as we said that there are only two pair of nerves, that is the third pair and the fourth pair, which arise from the midbrain. So here the third pair, that is oculomotor nerve, it arises or originates from the midbrain and it goes to the eye muscles, iris and tear muscles of the eye. It is motor in nature and it helps in the movement of the eyeball. Now in eye there are different muscles, superior and inferior rectus muscles, internal and external rectus muscles, as well as the oblique muscles. Now here in these oculomotor nerves, they help in the movement of the eyeball, and here the muscles which work on are the superior and inferior rectus muscles and internal and external rectus muscles. They help in the movement of eyeball, the upward and downward movement and the sideways movement of the eyes. The fourth is the trochlear muscles or the trochlear nerve pair, and it also arises from the midbrain, or it originates from the midbrain, and it also goes to the eye muscles. Now here the muscles which act on or which work on are the oblique rectus muscles. These muscles or these nerve fibers are also motor in nature and they help in the rotation of eyeball. Whereas the superior, inferior and internal and external rectus muscles, they help in the movement of eyeball, the upward, downward and sideways movement of the eye. Whereas these oblique muscles, they help in the rotation of the eyeball. Now this trochlear nerve is also called as pathetic nerve. The fifth pair of the nerve is trigeminal nerve. It arises or originates from the medulla region and it goes to the skin receptors, the lip, the teeth and the gums, and it is mixed in nature, and the function of these nerves is tactile, means it perceives the sensations like touch and pain and other sensations, and also it helps in the movement of the jaw. Now as we said, this trigeminal nerve fibers further are divided into three types: the ophthalmic nerves, the maxillary nerves and the mandibular nerves. So here these the ophthalmic nerves, they act as the sensory nerves. Here these are the mixed nerves, they are mixed in nature, so they can perform the sensory functions also and motor functions also. So the ophthalmic nerves, they perform the sensory function, they go to the they supply to the skin receptors, the receptors or the sense organs or the sensory parts which are present in the skin, or the sensory receptors which are present in the skin. They perceive the sensations like touch, pain, etc. and so they act as the sensory nerves. Whereas the lip, teeth and the gums, these nerves, the nerve which goes there, that is maxillary and mandibular nerves, they act as motor nerves and they help in the movement of jaw. The next is the sixth pair is the abducens nerve. They also arise from the medulla or originate from the medulla, and they go to the or they supply to the external rectus muscle of the eye, and they are motor in nature and they also help in the rotation of the eyeball. The next is the facial nerves. Facial nerves, they also arise from the medulla region and they reach to the taste buds and the muscles of the face and also the salivary glands. These are mixed in nature. These are mixed nerves and they help or they perform the function of tasting the food, secretion of saliva and the movement of neck, and also they create the facial expressions. Now here these facial muscles, they reach to the taste buds, but here they act on the posterior 2/3 part of the tongue. The next is the auditory muscles. They originate from the ear, inner ear. The cochlear region of the ear, they originate or they arise from the organ of corti from the inner ear, and they reach to the medulla region. They are sensory in nature and they help us in perceiving the sound waves or the sound, and also they maintain the equilibrium of our body. So they help in hearing and equilibrium. The next is the glossopharyngeal nerves. These arise from the medulla region. They also go to the taste buds. Now here these nerves, they act on the anterior 1/3 part. Here these facial nerves, they were acting on the posterior 2/3 part. These glossopharyngeal nerves, they act on the anterior 1/3 part, and they also reach to the muscles of pharynx, and these are the mixed nerves, mixed in nature, and they perform the function of tasting as well as swallowing. They help us to swallow the food. The next one, that is the 10th pair, is the vagus nerves. Vagus nerves arise from the medulla. This is the only pair of nerves which come out of the skull, and it reaches the visceral organs of our body. The sensory nerves, it reaches the visceral organs of our body, and the motor nerves are there which it reaches the muscles of the visceral organs of our body, that is heart, lungs and kidney. These nerve fibers, they reach to these organs, these visceral organs of our body, and these nerves are mixed in nature, means they can perform the function of sensory nerves also and motor nerves also, and the function is they perform the functions or they control the functions of the visceral organs. They control the function of heart, lungs, kidneys, etc. So they control the function of the visceral organs. The 11th pair is the spinal accessory nerve, and it originates from the medulla region. It goes to the muscles of larynx, pharynx and the neck. It is a motor nerve. That's why it helps in the movement of neck, larynx, pharynx and the shoulders. The 12th pair and the last pair is the hypoglossal nerve. It also originates from the medulla region and it goes to the hypoglossal muscles of our tongue. These are motor nerves. That's why they help in the movement of our tongue. So these are the 12 pair of cranial nerves. They originate from different parts as well as they supply to the different part. They reach out to the different parts of our body. They perform various functions of our